So how many of you are going through a bit of a tough time with your 3D circumstances? And what if I was to actually tell you, listen up, just because something negative seems to be occurring in your 3D, just because things seem to be going wrong right now, doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, and it doesn't mean that you are not currently on the bridge to success. And I'm going to divulge all in this video, okay? So if you've got time, stay tuned, and I'm going to demonstrate using my own experiences as always, and also demonstrate in a fun way too, to help this really sink in, because it's going to click. By the time I'm done with you, this is going to click, okay? And it's going to make sense, and it's going to help you in terms of adverse things happening. I can't promise that you're not necessarily going to have a reaction to it. You might do, but what I do promise is that you are not going to continuously have a reaction, and you're going to be less inclined to allow a 3D circumstance to dictate whether you're a success or a failure. In fact, you're going to stay true, and you're going to reach your end result, okay? And I'm going to explain all in this video, right? So stick with me on this, because it's the kind of thing that is the most hot topic out there. I know in our Discord community at the moment, in our chats, as I'm chatting to everyone, it's always SP did this, or something happened with money, or something happened here, I've interpreted it this way, time has gone too long, they're still being really cold with me, right? And these are all interpretations of what are essentially neutral events in the 3D. That's right, neutral, because everything in life, there is no meaning to it, aside from the meaning that we attach. That's why there is no one and nothing's changed but self. And that's why when we do change ourselves, our perception and our reality shifts almost instantly, actually, in many cases, and it can be quite an obvious shift, so much so that people actually believe they've jumped into a whole new reality, they quantum shifted into a whole new dimension, a whole new world. Is it that, or is it just that we've changed so much that suddenly the things that were invisible to us and now visible have now been revealed? Because that's what manifestation is. You're bringing it to light, you're revealing something that was always there but was probably invisible to you. So if you were feeling like things are ganging up against you, you've got naysayers telling you no, you're doubting yourself, or you're doubting the law, or you've got your SP saying one thing, you've got your bank balance telling you it's empty, you've just lost your job, whatever adversities you are facing right now, let's deal with it here, okay? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Athena Raven, I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach, and my aim is not only to share my experiences with the law of assumption, but also to combine the psychological aspect of it as well, so it's easier to digest. And also we might as well nurture our ego mind on this journey, right? Because it's along for the ride, essentially. So instead of fighting it, instead of trying to ignore it, instead of resisting, let's work together with our ego mind and try and get to a place of self-compassion as well, and understanding that your journey can sometimes be a turbulent one. And just because you know the law, and just because you've done all your techniques, or just because you're a seasoned manifester or whatever, does not make you exempt from experiencing negative effects in your 3D reality. It doesn't, because creation is finished, and that means everything's in existence now. And life is about the law of polarity. It follows the law of polarity, right? Dual meanings to everything, right? There's the good and the bad, the light and the dark, to think that. War and peace, right? In order for things to make sense, there has to be this duality of life. There's two sides of the same coin, right? But how am I choosing to see things here? And just because I'll meditate and put myself in a great mindset and believe in world peace and look for world peace everywhere, does that mean that war ceases to be, ceases to exist? No, it's less prominent in my reality, but it continues to be there because it plays an integral role. And maybe along my bridge of events, something about war is involved in that bridge to success, but none of you are going to be exempt from it. And that's why I'm saying as well, that's why I have to be really real with you guys on this channel, because I don't want you blaming yourselves and going into a victim failure mindset. In fact, you know what I say, for those of you who are new to the channel as well, and if you haven't already subscribed, only subscribe and join this channel if you are serious about getting success. If you feel like you're in a failure mindset, that's okay, as long as you are willing to let go of it and willing to shift into a success mindset. And for those of you who are, yes, I'm going to get that success, no matter what, I'm getting success in all avenues, not just one, in all avenues, then this is the community for you. Join us here. And what I talk about with, clients, people I work with, people on our Discord chat as well, the major thing that derails all of us, every single one of us, including me as well sometimes, right? The 3D circumstances. It can be very, very hard to interpret your 3D circumstances. because sometimes negative things do happen and it doesn't really make sense. But remember what I said to you, sometimes it's necessary. It's very important for those negative circumstances or negative people, for example, to exist, because they could be your fuel to your next manifestation. They could be the driving force, or this adversity where you find yourself not being able to feed yourself because you have no money is the driving force for you changing your mindset with absolute fury, villain mode, boss mode, whatever you want to call it. I've got that determination, I've got that drive. It feels so horrible to be in this state. So I'm stepping into the state of success and I'm persevering in it too. Because if I don't feel horrible, if I don't feel stressed out by 3D circumstances, then what's the driving force? I'm going to be complacent, la-di-da about it and be like, oh well, poverty, okay. I desire success, I desire riches, but you know, whatever. It's not going to always help. So sometimes these negative circumstances play a really integral role. And there's so many different ways as well to interpret this. So let me share from my own experience and then I'm going to show you a demonstration. Okay, if you're still with me on this, stay with me, because then I'm going to share with you a demonstration of how this actually works and how to view your circumstance, of the fact that it can really unfold in crazy, crazy ways. Now, I was manifesting my dream car. Unlike many people out there, or many people would assume, people assume that, you know, if you're a coach and you utilize the law really well, you might want to manifest some of these insane luxuries and stuff. I was always quite modest in that sense. You know, I'm quite practical. I don't really care too much for overly materialistic things, but especially, you know, back then as well when I was learning, one of my dream things, my dream car, for some people it's a Lamborghini or Ferrari. Well, my dream was a Mini. I live in London, okay? Most of the roads here are like 20 miles an hour with speed bumps. I ain't going to be getting a Ferrari and speeding along anytime soon, right? So, but a Mini was my dream car. I just absolutely adored them. I thought they were so cute. And I had a particular kind of Mini in my mind, actually, because I was also like, I want a car that is two-seater, convertible, sporty, like I wanted for all these things. And I had it in my mind, but I didn't know that they made such a Mini. I'd only ever seen these four-seaters, okay? So what happens is I end up with a Mini, but this didn't really fit my bill of the dream car. This is why I say, listen, when you get something close to what you've manifested, do not take that as your end result or a halfway manifestation. There's no such things. There's no such things, okay? That is still your bridge. So my bridge, okay, you know, you say, oh, someone came up who was kind of like my SP, but not quite or whatever. Okay, bridge of events, okay? But yeah, it didn't tick all the boxes, right? It didn't tick all the boxes because it was a black Mini with 4 seats. It was a diesel. It was old. So it didn't really tick few of my boxes, okay, but I still enjoyed it. Now, it spent a lot of time in the garage. It was one thing after another that was going wrong with it. And then what ended up happening one evening, okay, I'm driving back from work and I'm on the phone to my first SP, funny enough, who I'd manifested back, and we were talking, and I parked up by my mum's house, and I didn't park on the drive actually at this time, which was good. I mean, I had my mum and sister's car in there. I didn't bother to squeeze on there. I sort of parked a bit off, right? So I didn't fill my car up with fuel, even though I needed it. Something just told me, I'm not going to do it today, which is very unusual for me, very unusual. And I also didn't bother parking it on the drive. And I'm absent-mindedly talking to my SP at the time, who then decided to cut the conversation short because I said to him, I can smell like burning rubber sort of thing. And he, out of nowhere, just said, take your shopping in the house and I'm going to call you later. Very unusual that he suddenly did that, but of course everyone is your messenger, right? So I take my shopping, I go in, and as soon as I opened the door of the house and I close behind it, boom, the car exploded. Car alarms going off. I can see this blaze outside. It looked like daylight. It was night, but suddenly it looked like daylight. I could hear neighbors screaming. I was like, what the hell is going on? I hadn't actually clocked that it was my car. And then my mum started screaming, your car is on fire. Oh my goodness. So you can imagine the devastation. I forgot in that moment that I had a dream car in mind that I was manifesting. I forgot about everything. I was very much engrossed into 3D. I was very much triggered, and I was very much having a very negative reaction. And it was awful, guys. So anyway, this car is obviously nothing left of it. Go check the community post. So I've posted it up on the community post for you guys to see. charred mess by the end of it. It gets towed away. Now, you would think, how the hell was that working in my favor? But actually, it was my perfect bridge of events. Now, why did it need to unfold like that? Because, well, first of all, I would have been complacent in having that car, so I wouldn't have gotten my dream car. Secondly, I would have maybe taken it to a dealership or tried to sell it privately, in which case I would have gotten a huge amount of money taken off. It would have depreciated in value a lot because I had it for over a year, added on to the mileage, and also there was stuff going wrong with it all the time as well, so that wouldn't have really worked, in which case I wouldn't have been able to afford my dream car. So it had to happen like this, because the way that it happened meant that insurance paid out with no fuss, and actually unexpectedly paid out exactly what I paid for that car. So I didn't lose any money. And then what happened was, because this style of car that I really wanted, because it was not so popular, because there were 2 seats, convertible, it wasn't that popular, they were getting rid of them, the mini roadsters. So they were trying to get rid of them. So that meant that they reduced the cost. So what happened was, I ended up with my dream car without paying that much extra, a car that was 5,000 miles on the clock, practically brand new, and it was just fantastic. And I have it to this day, and you can see a bit of it here in the corner too. Absolutely my baby. I called it Kit because I like Knight Rider. Who else names their car? So anyway, that bridge of events, you would have thought, my God, what was happening, right? I thought my whole world was falling apart. But you see how it was a perfect unfolding. If I had taken out that, oh, that would have been a negative event, let me take out that could happen, you know, what would I have been left with? Maybe there would have been some other ways, some other house, but it was so perfect because that was the time that this car came on the market. This was my ideal car. And that was the time that they had reduced it. They're trying to get rid of it. They discontinued it. They don't make it anymore. And that was about the times that my car had to spontaneously combust so I could get paid out quickly by insurance with no questions asked. It was just such a perfect thing. But at the time, do you think I could see that when I was crying and they were taking my car away and I was like, my car, my baby? I couldn't see it. Now, things like this can happen with your specific person, whereby you end up getting blocked and you're like, what the hell's happened? You know, I've been manifesting for a relationship, I've been blocked. I always perceive blocking as a blessing. And I always saw it as, well, if they're blocking me, they're obviously still really impacted by me. They obviously still really care about me, because for them to do that, you know, it means that they don't want to see me move on potentially, right? That's how much of an impact I had. That's why when my SPs came back, they reflected this as well, right? Whereas if I was in a failure, lack mindset in regards to my SP manifestation, I would have viewed it as, that's it, that's permanent, that's done, they've blocked me, oh my God, kind of thing. Now, I'm not saying, look, you are, like I say, you are going to encounter adverse things and you are going to get triggered by them. Even the most seasoned coaches out there who make out like their life is perfect, trust me, they also come across negativity and they also get affected by it. And only the real ones will come forward and tell you that that is the case. Because I know it's not glitz and glam and magic if I tell you what the law is realistically, but I am compelled to tell you how it is realistically, because it will affect your mental health. And that's, to me, that is the utmost important, your mental health. Now, are you still with me on this? Do I still have you here? Because I'm going to demonstrate for you. I use my car roof as a, what do you call it, table. I'm going to demonstrate something for you now. And this is going to be representational of your bridge of events, and this is the difference between people who succeed and people who fail, right? So imagine that life is, or your imagination is, I suppose, an endless library. There are books and books and books everywhere. Every desire that you could ever realize, every outcome that you could ever experience, right, is all there in existence now. And so what I'm doing is, because I'm not creating anything new, creation is finished, all the books have already been written. They've already been written and published, okay? So my job as a manifestor is to pinpoint a book that is in existence, i.e. think to myself, okay, what is my desire? Can I see myself having that desire? I really want it, right? Let me stop wanting for it. Let me merge with it. Let me be it now. Let me become it. Let me step into it in imagination. Let me imagine what it would be like to have that desire now, okay? So I'll pick out this book from the library of life. And as I'm imagining, I'm experiencing my end. Bless her. So this book, by the way, is a manifestation in itself. This book was written by my best friend's mother, and this was her dream, that she had always aspired to write a book, and things happened in her reality that pushed her finally to get this book finished, and they published it and stuff. And she's passed now, you know, God bless her, but I saw her picture in the thing, so still, I wasn't expecting that. It's a bit emotional. So I'm using you as inspiration, darling. So I have imagined my end. I know how this story ends. I can see it. I relate. They're not just characters that are separate to me. I've stepped into that. I am that person, right? Now, as I open my eyes, I've come back to this reality. And what's happened is I've gone to the beginning of the book, or the early chapters of the book, and I'm starting to read through it now. That's what I'm starting to do, okay? So now I'm going through my book page by page, bit by bit, because this world is made of mass and matter, okay? So because of that, it has to go through a very natural bridge of events, right? We can't just, like I say, can't just close my eyes and I'm going to magic myself in a mansion or with my dream car just parked outside my house or anything like that. A bit of chaos going on. So I'm not going to imagine my end and then suddenly come back down to reality with a jolt and like there it all is, right? I have to go through a very natural chain of events. Don't forget, I'm living in this reality with other people. There are 8 billion or 9 billion or however many people there are on this planet, billions of different worlds, but there is this one shared existence right now, and we're just living our own different experiences, right, based on our state of being. So this is my natural bridge of events. Now, every book is different. Every book is a different size, okay? And some of you are going to be having books that are much longer. Your bridge of events is going to be much longer. Other people, it's going to be minuscule, a few pages, whatever. The bridge is the bridge. Or we don't bother with it, it's taken care of already, okay? You are just being chauffeur driven to your end. So just sit back, relax and enjoy the read. You already know how this story ends. This is why there's no time, okay? Because the book is complete. You've got the whole book. Okay, I'm not at the end of the book yet. I'm going towards it. But if I want to jump to the end of the book, I can imagine it. I can be it now, okay? I can collapse time and space and consciousness. That's infinite access, right? I can do that. But when I come back here, I realize that I've got to go through this natural bridge. And this natural bridge is showing me some undesirable obstacles and things that are happening and adverse things that are happening that are making me think, how is this working in my favor? Oh my God, I'm manifesting health. Doctor gave me bad news. Oh my goodness, I'm manifesting this specific person. They've just told me they don't love me. They've blocked me. Oh my goodness, I'm manifesting money. But I've just lost my job, for example. So how is this going to turn around? But you see, this is the difference now between success or failure, because what tends to happen is some of us can get so engrossed in our stories and we get so engrossed in the negative, we get lost and derailed about what the end actually was. We lose sight of it and we allow the middle to be too traumatic, in which case I put the book aside. Now the book is still in existence, the book is still there, open, okay, open on the chapter, but I've put it there because I've not been able to continue to read it. I've derailed myself and I've ended up picking a different story with a different ending, whereby I don't get the dream house or the dream desire or the dream, I don't get any of those things. I've gone down a different path, perhaps the path of this isn't working, perhaps the path of failure. What tends to happen as well is that some people from that mindset will stick into a success mindset, but they don't persevere for long enough to see their dreams through. They immediately interpret 3D as not working for them, put the book down, and they don't continue reading, or maybe they take a bit of time, hiatus, and then they come back to it and they continue on the way, because it's not going anywhere. It's always there, guys, okay? It's not lost, it's not ruined. Even if you do spiral, you do derail, you lose yourself for a while, that's okay. I've taken a pause and I'm going to go back and I'm going to read it. But definitely do not shift from that success mind, because that's a success mindset. The success mindset goes back to read the book to the end, continues through the adversity in 3D reality to success. But the failure mindset will see failure everywhere and will inadvertently pick up the book of failure and start manifesting that outcome of failure upon failure upon failure. It's a snowball effect. Why do you think that I make this channel dedicated to your successes? Why do you think I do that? Why do you think I encourage every single person? I don't care how old you are. I don't care about your background. I don't care if your success was before or after you learned about the law. I don't care if it was through coaching or just through your sheer will and determination. If you did it with one affirmation or if you did it with scripting, or I don't care. You guys are every single person is sitting on a success story. And the very fact that a lot of people, you don't see that, a lot of you are not seeing that yet, is because why are we afraid to occupy the state of success? Well, own your successes, because if you start to own one success and another, what's going to happen? You're going to start spiraling into success, success, success. Okay? And understanding how many different ways your bridge can unfold. And you're going to notice as well in some of your own personal success stories that, was your bridge always easy? Did you come across naysayers? What about family members who said, no, you can't get that career, you need specific skills? Or what about people that said the law isn't real, doesn't exist, or all of this? What did you do? You disregarded it, didn't you? You carried on regardless, because if it was something you really wanted and you truly believed in, you saw yourself as the person who had it and you stuck to that. You persisted through the 3D. Oh, you just got let go from your job? Okay, that hurt. That was upsetting. That's happened to me before as well. Got made redundant. But then I was like, well, actually brilliant, because now I've got the fuel and the fire behind me to get that success at the end. What about if you encounter negative people or a relationship that turns really sour, someone that's really abusive? People seem to think, oh yeah, if you have a perfect self-concept, you're not going to encounter abusive people or crazy people or negative people. No, of course you are. Creation is finished. Where do you think that they go? Do you think they just vanish? No, but they play an integral role as well. Okay, so it's not just the fact that they might be negative or they might be abusive or whatever. They can play a very integral role. Yes, my interpretation of them reflects me, but essentially, sometimes someone can come in your life and cause you trauma as part of your bridge to success. And if you look at a lot of these people who are really successful entrepreneurs and actors and whatever else, they came from adversity. And sometimes still, whilst they're on the road to success, they are successes already, millionaires and famous and whatever it is that they wanted. They encounter hardships that then seem to propel them even into more success too, because they see opportunities and they don't allow 3D obstacles to bash them down and keep them down. It might bash them down, for sure it does, we're human, like I say, but does it keep you down? Are you letting your 3D circumstance keep you down? Have you just put the book to one side and just left it? And are you going to go and pick out another book right now? Or are you going to go back and read the rest of your story? Because this isn't where your story ends. This isn't your ending, is it? I'm halfway through. This isn't my ending. My car setting on fire, that was not my end. Me buying the black Mini and stuff, that was not my end. That was not my end manifestation. So do you see how this works? And I understand as well. You see, if you want to be a success in this, so I say you have to have the determination. Every one of you right now, make it your homework to sit back and to reflect upon your own success story. Like I said, I don't care if it was before the law, after the law, something that you think is big, small, whatever. In fact, comment it. Put it in the comments below to remind yourself. What you're going to notice is you're going to start to remember more success, more success, more success. That's what happened with someone who saw my post yesterday. They were just like, that reminds me of my car success story. And then it gave them the strength to realize, oh my God, I've realized how I got success with that. I feel like I can get success in anything. Whereas what sometimes happens is failure, then I get another failure, then another failure, and then I start questioning things, and I start questioning, is the law real? This doesn't work, this isn't happening. And you know what happens then? I mean, if you go, there's people, of course, in existence and that who are naysayers, who are negative, who are occupying the state of failure, and they want to remain there. They don't really perhaps know, but there's like people I've heard, there's like forums saying about, yes, they're discounting success stories, your success stories are not real, they're made up, they're saying the law isn't real and stuff. Well, of course, if I'm occupying the state of failure, then the law is working for you perfectly, because guess what? You're going to see more failure. And if you are a failure, then how can you see success for other people? Even if they voice note their success story, even if they comment below and they say, this is my success story, like they do with mine, even if they post on other coaches' Facebooks with, I just got success, ice cream van. Even if all of these things happen, the people who are in the failure mindset, remember, reality is filtered through your assumptions. Well, if I'm occupying this doesn't work, nothing's working from everything's working against me, then these success stories, I'm either going to be jealous of them and I'm going to dismiss them as fake, no matter what evidence is placed before me. And I'm going to favor all the negative, because that's more important to me as a failure, right? And you will notice that people in that sort of community, not one of them have achieved success. So of course, they have to congregate in their failure mindset. But if you choose to step out of that, right? I'm not saying that you guys are in this mindset. We've got a brilliant community here, right? But that negative mindset, that has to exist. So you are going to have naysayers trying to derail you, saying it doesn't work, the law doesn't work, this, that, and the other. Blame the law, blame coaches, blame gravity, blame the Easter Bunny, blame whatever you want to do, right? Blame Santa Claus. So you're going to have people blaming everyone else. It's everyone else's fault they didn't get success. Everyone who's got success is not real, right? But people who are in a success mindset, what's happening is they're reading from their book of success. Things are going a bit awry, right? Because some of you are still on the road to success. You haven't even got your end result yet. But you know what? You're looking at other people's successes and you're like, well done. Well done, congratulations, because I see success in other people. And although I'm still on my bridge to success, and although it's a bit of a, I'm not sure I like this story at the moment, I know that I'm going to also be a success in time, whatever it takes, because I refuse to see any other way, right? So there's no need to be jealous because I associate myself with people like that. Successful people hang around successful people. Failures will hang around failures. And that's why people who are in the failure mindset, they're reading a book that they don't really want to read. It's not comfortable. It's not really a nice state to occupy, failure, but they'll be looking at other people's successes. That's not real, that's a lie, or I'm jealous of their success because I'm reading something that I not only don't have, but I don't want them to have it. I don't want them to have it as well, because failure must exist in everyone, you know, and I don't believe I can have the success that they have. I don't believe I can have it for myself. So that's why we get jealous. That's why jealousy happens as well. But none of us have to be jealous. We're all capable of manifesting incredible things, but it's about mindset. What is your mindset? Are you the success mindset? Are you the failure mindset? Are you going to choose to let your 3D reality dictate who you are? Are you going to misinterpret 3D circumstances as negative when in fact it could all be really positive, working in your favor, but we forgot that the negative has to exist in order for creation to be complete, right? We forgot that, you know, it's infinite possibilities, and that means for bad things as well. If a thief needs to get involved in your life somehow to bring your end manifestation about, then a thief is going to get involved. It's not an indicator of you having a bad self-concept, there's something wrong with you. No, it's just that creation is finished and that's reality. And you will react, and that's okay. But you choose to read the book after you've had your reaction and maybe objectify it as still working in my favor. I know how this story ends. Let me just flip to the end again. I'll flip to the end, shall I? I'll just remind myself of how wonderful this ending is. And now I'll go back to the story, I'll go back to where I was, and I'll continue. Okay, so I really, really hope that this was helpful and inspiring for you. And don't allow negativity or other people's limiting beliefs and negativity to get in the way and to cloud your vision here. You only need to look at other people's successes all around you. You only need to look at celebrities and, you know, amazing people, inspiring entrepreneurs and athletes and that talk about it. Some of them don't even know about the law, but if you listen carefully to what they say, it's always about what they envisaged, what they could see for themselves, what they believed, they tried, they strived, they got. Okay, so I really hope this helped you out. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.